everyone, welcome back to my channel. I got my hair in a bun. I don't care if it's messy. It's like 33 degrees we're in Celsius, so it's hot. Also, we have smoke, which ain't helping at all. So yeah, Canada's burning, so hopefully everyone's okay and got out safely. So yes, anyway, so today we'll be doing Otherwordly books. So if that sounds up your alley, let's get going. So I don't have too much about Otherwordly. So, actually, hang on. Okay, anyway, so my first book is Burial Bones in the Midnight Soil by V.E. Schwab and Victoria Schwab. There's a story about hunger, 1532, Santa Domingo de la Calzada. A young girl grows up wild and wily. Her beauty is only outmatched by her dreams of escape, but Maria knows she can only ever be a prize or a pawn in the games played by men. When an alluring stranger offers an alternate path, Maria makes a desperate choice. She vows to have no regrets. This is a story about love. 1827, London. A young woman lives an idyllic but cloistered life on her family's estate until a moment of forbidden intimacy sees her shipped off to London. Charlotte's tender-hearted, seemingly impossible wishes are swept away by an invitation from a beautiful widow, but the price of freedom is higher than she could have imagined. This is a story about rage. 2019, Boston. College was supposed to be her chance to be someone new. That's why Alice moved halfway across the world, leaving her old life behind. But after an out-of-character one-night stand leaves her questioning her past, her present, and her future, Alice throws herself into the hunt for answers and revenge. This is a story about life, how it ends, and how it starts. So I kind of talked about this book already. That is The Actual Life by Kate Quinn. It's basically where you can, if you had a chance to live inside a book. So, yes. So it's like, have you ever wished you could live inside a book? Welcome to the actual life of your books are not just objects, but doors to new worlds, new lives, and new futures. And guess what? I still have to read this. My next book is The Sirens by Amelia Hart. And this is, again, I also kind of talked about this, but it's a story of sisters separated by hundreds of years but bound together in more ways than they can imagine. 2019, Lizzie awakens in her ex-lover's room in the middle of the night with her hands around his throat. Horrified, she flees to her sister's house on the coast of New South Wales, hoping Jess can explain the vivid dreams that preceded the attack. But his sister is missing. As Lucy waits for her return, she starts to unearth strange rumors about Jess's town. Tales of numerous missing men spread over decades, a baby abandoned in sea's swift cave, whispers of women's voices on the waves, all the while her dreams started to feel closer than ever. 1800, Mary and Eliza are torn from their loving home in Ireland and forced onto a convict ship heading for Australia. As the boat takes them farther and farther away from all they know, they begin to notice unexplainable changes in their bodies. How exciting! My next book is Hemlock and Silver by T. Kingfisher. So this is a reimagining of Snow White, steeped in poison, intrigue, and treason of the most magical kind. Healer Anja regularly drinks poison, not to die but to save. She is seeking cures for those everyone else has given up on. One day a summons from the king interrupts her quiet, obsessed life. His daughter Snow is dying, and he hopes Anja's unorthodox methods can save her. Aided by a turned god and a sister cat, and a passion for the scientific method, Anja rushes to treat Snow, but nothing seems to be work until she finds a secret world. Oh, and this actually came out on my birthday last year. That's fun. Hello. Anyways, so I actually recently read this and I quite enjoyed it. I really like the world building and like the characters and the plots. So I quite really had fun with this, and this is The Poet Empress by Chantal. In the waning years of the Azalea dynasty, the emperor is dying, the land consumed by famine, and poetry magic lost to all except the powerful. Wei Yin is desperate. After the fifth death of a sibling with her family and village on the brink of starvation, she will do anything to save those she loves, even offer herself as concubine to the cool hand of the beautiful and brutal Azalea house. But in a twist of fate, the palace stands on the knife edge of civil war, with Wei trapped in its center at the side of a violent prince. To survive, Wei must harden her heart, rely on her wit, and become dangerous herself, even if it means becoming a poet in a world where women are forbidden to read, and composing the most powerful spell of all, a ballad of death and love. So I quite like the transitions of the characters that we are reading, like especially main characters. So I like how scared, Ray was being, and like, oh, I don't want to do this, but I have to, because of family, until she eventually became what she's supposed to be, including the prince himself. The prince was a character, let's just put it at that. So, from him to being that cruel, and to like being, oh, he actually just understood, if you will. I promise I'm not spoiling, but I quite like the transitions between two of the characters. It was quite nice. So yeah, it was really fun to read. Also, I like with the poems that she has to write. So that was really fun. So I quite like the magic system. But yeah, so check this book out. You guys might like it. It's Chinese mythology, I believe. Or maybe not. Also that trigger warning, there are darker themes, subjects, and scenes that may not be suitable. So check the beginning of the book for author's content note, because it's pretty violent at times, so FYI. Also the ending kind of dug my heart a little, and it's been a while since a book had able done that. The first book that it was where I almost cried was the Poppy War trilogy. So that book actually made me almost cry, and I was reading that, listening to the audio book, and my boss was like, what's happening over here? Yeah, I can listen to my audiobooks as long as that job is done. My boss doesn't care. She just wants the jobs done, so she's pretty chill. But, yeah, so the ending cut, anyways, that's like a bittersweet ending. But yeah, if you like Serpent and the Wings of Night, The Song of Achilles, and She Who Became the Sun is what this book is being compared to. Alright, next one. My next book is, I also want to read this, and I kind of talked about this in July book releases, A Resistance of Witches by Morgan Ryan. It's a historical fantasy debut set against the backdrop of World War II, where a witch journeys to find a book of unspeakable power before it lands in Nazis' hands. Stubborn, plain-spoken, and from an unimpressive family, Lydia Polk never expected to be accepted. Oh wow, that kind of rhymed. Never expected to be accepted. Anyways, into the Royal Academy of Witches. Now with Hitler's army rampaging across Europe, the witches of Britain have joined the war effort, and Lydia is key to cause. She must use her magic to track down magical relics before Hitler and his psychopaths can. And then the Nazi witch infiltrates the academy with heartbreaking consequences, leaving the college shaken, exposed, and divided. The older British witches have no interest in further loss of common life and service on the government that has forced them into hiding for generations. From a discovery of the Grimorian Buildum, an ancient book that leaves a trail of death and destruction wherever it goes, Lydia knows her mission has never been more urgent. Alright, so my next book, or actually my last book actually, can we face over here? Hi, okay. My last book is The Witch of Colchis by Rosie Hewlett. This is for Constanza, Cassidy, and Circe, and with an evocative tale of love, murder, and magic, for one of the most powerful Malian women in Greek myth. Meet Medea like you've never known her before, a woman with improbable skill and the softest heart, held back by men who could never dream to deserve her. A disgraced daughter and fearsome witch, a woman more myth than mortal, Medea, Princess of Colchis, longs for a different life since childhood. She has been shunned from her family, tormented by her people, and treated with shame, all because of her unique and dangerous talent, witchcraft. When a dashing young hero Jason arrives to claim the famed Golden Fleece, Medea sees her opportunity for escape. Her offer to help Jason sets in motion a journey that will test every ounce of strength, magic, and loyalty she has. A journey that she will see her battle monsters, lead throne kings, and confront a love more brutal than any before. A journey that will ultimately end in betrayal, bloodshed, and a dark power impossible to forget. Ooh! So, it's been a while since I read, Greek mythology, so I don't want to go back into it, but now I find it it's kind of hard to find good ones, because I remember they're taking off so quickly, everyone wants to read Greek mythology all of a sudden. Crazy how trends are going in and out, which is kind of dumb. Just write what you want, who cares about trends? By what right though? I just write what I write. But anyway, so this is a pretty short video. I know I have a lot of Otherwordly books, but there was one. I did want to include the Otherwordly post because this is kind of similar to Hotel Magnifique, but it's not really, Otherwordly. But anyways, let me know what Otherwordly books you're reading or wanting to read, and if you like it, please like, comment, subscribe so you'll be notified every time I post. I will see you on my next one. Bye!